Will the gentleman yield?
Mr. Bryant, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for question?
Will the gentleman yield for questions? The gentleman yields.
Mr. Hayes, these short barrel weapons are on a short list of weapons which are illegal to possess in this state. Isn't that correct?
That's true. That's why we're repealing it.
And why was it put on the list in the first place?
Well, back in the 1930s, when we did the National Firearm Act, it had a number of prohibited guns, and Texas mirrored that. But what we've come to learn is it's such an inconsequential ownership that the state of Texas does not track how many criminal offenses are committed with short barrel firearms or the results of those criminal offenses.
Well, we don't track much of anything, do we?
The member's not advised.
To what use, sir, are you going to put your short barrel firearm, your sawed-off shotgun? That's what we're talking about here. To what use will you put it?
I don't own one. I know there are members that do. And what prompted the bill, Representative, is that when the ATF, under the Biden administration, made it illegal to have a pistol brace, and those were originally designed for people who had handicaps, or it would fit on your arm so that you could stabilize the gun. It was called a stabilizing brace, that those all of a sudden became short barrel firearms. That made somewhere between 350,000 to 900,000 guns in the state of Texas illegal. So this bill seeks to repeal that situation so that people don't have to be fearful of having a prohibited weapon.
But you could have repealed just those, the law with regard to just those people, and left the general prohibition on short barrel firearms in the law if you had chosen to, couldn't you?
Not really.
Not really? No. I think really you could have if you had chosen to. Instead, you're removing one of three prohibited weapons: an explosive weapon, a machine gun, and a short barrel firearm. You're removing short barrel firearm from the list of weapons that are illegal, aren't you?
That is true. But like what I said a while ago is, think of the irony. You can have a handgun, you can have a long gun, but you can't have a long gun with a short barrel, but the pistol barrel is shorter than the short barrel firearm barrel.
I'm not thinking about the irony. I'm thinking about all those people that got shot in that church that Mrs. Goodwin spoke of just a moment ago with one of these weapons.
That is true that a short barrel firearm was used in Santa Fe, but let me tell you what. It was properly owned, it was properly registered with the federal government, and the $200 tax stamp that the federal government extracts from people to have a short barrel firearm had been paid. That was a legally owned gun, and if it's a legally owned gun and someone commits a heinous offense, what can you do?
This is an organized crime amendment. This isn't the case that they put this in the law in the first place because these things are highly lethal, and they're also easily concealable, and they were used to shoot cops and innocent people by gangsters. Isn't that the case?
I think that was the case back in the 30s, Representative, when the bill was originally passed. We just don't have that kind of gangland-style shooting these days with short barrel firearms.
We don't have gangland-style shootings these days? I don't think
Not
you're right about that.
Not with short barrel firearms.
Pardon me. We have shootings that vastly exceed what we once had. That we've never had a greater epidemic of constant shootings than we have in it today. In those days, they didn't have that.
Yeah. What's the question?
Why are you carrying an amendment like this on the anniversary of the killing of all those children in Uvalde? That's my question.